You're in tune to Owl of Lives. www.owloflives.net.
You can't handle the truth!
Hello everybody, welcome to Out of Lives. I'm Scott Sedman and I'm joined by Adam Thomas from the Out of Crossfire podcast.
Hello.
Hi, how you doing, man? You doing good?
Yes, I'm brilliant, thank you.
Awesome. Dave White, what's going on, my man?
Not much. Considering we've, been talking for 2 hours. Sorry. Christmas was amazing. I had a really good time.
Did you get anything nice? Did you get my purple dildo I sent you?
Yes, I did, yeah. I also got a brand new car, a PS4. I got
what was the car? What was the car? Was it a Tesla model?
It was a Tesla model, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And also joining us this week is Kevin Tan.
Fucking guys.
Oh shit. Oh. Oh god. Well, there you go. There's no point in seeing Star Wars now, Kev. I mean, at least we didn't mention that Jar Jar Binks, isn't it? Oh shit, that just slipped out.
So what are we doing this week?
Well, we're going to talk about our game of the year. Yeah. Basically, everyone's going to bring a couple of games, discuss them, bring them up to the panel. I do have to run though, so I'm just going to drop mine. My game of the year is Witcher 3, hands down. But I would like to give a shout to Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider, really good game. Acting from Camilla Luddington is perfect again. The Tomb's really good. And also, I'm going to give a shout to Bloodborne. Brilliant game from Software. That's confusing to say. But nails the thing. Completely robbed in the Game Awards. Should have got something. So yeah, that's me. Witcher 3, awesome. Guys, I'm going to leave it with Kevin Charge, who's borderline suicidal. Borderline suicidal over the Star Wars spoiler we got given last week's show. Kev, take it away.
Well, apparently I've been given the reins. Dave, what was your game of the year?
Oh my god. I can't believe I literally bitched about Adam's podcast last week being so unprofessional. And then ever since it's just gone downhill. Right.
I've really enjoyed being a part of it. Yeah. Just sitting here in my chair, just watching the flames burn.
If you want a top quality PlayStation podcast,
if you're listening to this, we're pleased to announce that Out of Lives will end after this airs. So just come and listen to Out of the Crossfire instead.
Don't tell them that; they'll actually fucking believe it.
Well, I announced it, so it's true.
So let's get into the chunky bits. Let's not just do a Scott, shout our games up and run away. I really struggled to come up with my list because it's been such a good year for games. But
it's been a very good year.
I'm going to surprise everyone. Number 3 on my list, Dying Light.
I forgot that was this year.
Yeah.
Considering the amount of hate that I heard about that before it came out, because it was from the guys who did Dead Island, weren't it? And that was a bit of a buggy mess. So I'm quite surprised about that.
Well, the whole story with that is not that they did this independently and the studio, the publisher and that couldn't interfere with it this time.
That's pretty much it.
Why Dead Island was pish.
From what I understand, they made their money from Dead Island because even though it was a bad game, it sold pretty well.
It was, I wouldn't say it was bad. I got it for free on Games with Gold and I thought it was enjoyable in chunks.
As a multiplayer game, it was fun, but it was not the game I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Whereas Dying Light did fulfill the promises that that Dead Island had made. No, I mean, the world was quite interesting. It was, so the basic premise is zombie outbreak. The city and the slums have been walled off. And, you're dropped in to retrieve some information. And that's it. And when you start out, you're really underpowered. And the first few hours of the game are pretty fucking scary. I mean, when it first turns to night, and you can run, because you can look back as you're running, and as you look back it slows down. Like, Oh, my heart was pumping. Fucking, you look
That's
back.
a good mechanic, actually, to get round the fact that you can't see where you're going when you do that.
Yeah.
But you need to check.
You can look behind you because you get like hordes of zombies chasing after you. There's different types, and there's some that are quick as fuck, and you know that if they get you, that's it for you. So yeah, it sort of slows the time down. I mean, I've got a few. I actually had to record it a few times on the Xbox because you would look back and just see pure terror, and then the fear as you run. But it had really great traversal system.
That's what I was going to say. They sold that game a lot on the parkour. Was it actually really useful? Or was it just a gimmick?
No, when you get the hang of it, because it maps the jump button to a shoulder button instead, which sounds strange, but it means you can carry on aiming and jump at the same time. I've actually started adopting that for other games because of this, because it works so well. When you get the hang of the parkour, it's the best parkour game you can play. The movement and that is just phenomenal. And then as a multiplayer, I mean, I played with Ross a few times. He was not a fan. He's not sold on it, but he's Scottish, so no one cares.
No, he's just Ross, so no one cares.
But yeah, it was a surprise hit, and I think that's what helped build it up in my mind. Like, I wasn't expecting
It doesn't
anything.
feature football, does it? So
No,
that's why
there's
he
no
doesn't like
managing
it.
football teams. That's what lets it
No
down.
spreadsheets.
No spreadsheets. So yeah, Kev, if you haven't got it, I would recommend you can pick it up for like 15 quid. Well worth that.
Yeah, there's a ton of games that I still need to pick up.
I think rather than me doing all three of mine, we should just do one each.
Yeah, go on, Adam.
I think for my third pick, I'm gonna go for Everybody's Gone for the Rapture. To the Rapture. Fucking hell, can't speak. Because although there's not a lot of game to it in the traditional sense, it's mainly walking about and, you know, looking at stuff and playing these kind of weird cutscenes. I actually did a review for it for Out of Lives. It's an absolutely overwhelmingly brilliant experience. It's beautiful to walk around in, and the story and how they tell it to you and the music and all that is just absolutely phenomenal.
So what is the basic premise of the story in that?
Basically, everyone's disappeared, and you're kind of the last person around.
Right, okay, what?
You
still
go
investigate?
about. Yeah, so you're going around, and there's these I'm not sure what to call them, but there's like balls of light or auras that kind of float about, and then when you reach certain points, they like show you the last moments of people from the village.
Ah, okay.
It's the village of Yawton, which is in like Shropshire or something like that. It's a fictional village. And it's really, really good to walk around and see these like small clips of people's kind of last days or moments on Earth before the rapture happened.
Do you find out what the rapture is, like without spoiling it? Is it left that you sort of to interpret it yourself? Because that's what would annoy me if I played this game.
I'm not going to answer because I feel like it's a spoiler.
It's Jeebus. Is it Jeebus?
It's taking all the Christians.
That's part of the point of the mystery of it, is that is going through it, and there's a priest and there's like the scientist and that, and they argue about certain things about, why is everyone getting nosebleeds and, stupid things like that. And, there's a lot of debate goes on, and you follow certain characters, like you follow the priest's story a wee bit, and then you follow someone else. And it's completely open. You can wander about anywhere. You can follow everyone's story right the way through to the end, or none of them, and just kind of wander through and just see clips and bits and bobs from each person as you go until you reach the end of the game. It's really, really beautifully done. But the best part about it is the way that they make the village feel like you've literally just taken everyone out of it, like with the click of your fingers. There's cars left in stupid places, and just, doors left open, and people who were sitting down at their dinner, and,
it's like
things like that. And it's just, yeah, it's literally left just as if they just disappeared in an instant. And it's really fascinating to walk around and look at.
It's definitely something that I've really wanted to play when I heard about it, because it's such an interesting idea. But I haven't got a PlayStation 4, so I can't.
Hey, Dave. I just looked it up. Apparently, the Rapture is aliens.
Oh, okay.
I haven't looked it up.
Spoilers! I'm just kidding. I was just kidding. It's open to interpretation through most of the game.
It's just, if I got to the end of it and there was no explanation, I'd be like, for fuck's sake. But
can you imagine if you got to the end and then you had like a Independence Day moment where you just see a massive alien ship coming through the clouds?
That'd be so cool. What's funny is that you just made that up. That could happen, for all you know.
Probably.
I'm going to avoid this part of the conversation because I really don't want to spoil it. The best part about it is going through it and piecing it together, and you know, a lot of the time you spend coming up with your own theories based on what you've seen and heard about what is it that's going on. I think that's part of the experience, a part of the game, and it's really worth doing. If you have a PS4, I recommend playing it.
Alright, rub it in.
When I get one, I will.
Steal someone else's PS4, just not mine.
No, I was going to say I'll have yours.
Alright, what's your third game then, Kevlar?
Well, considering I didn't even know we were doing this, I haven't got a list, so I'm going to be making shit up as I go along. So this is in no particular order. My first one I'm going to talk about is Destiny: The Taken King.
Okay, that saves me adding it on my special mentions.
Right, okay, cool. It's like one of the only things I've played this year, to be fair, that's new. But I really like what they did with that expansion. When I heard it was coming out and how much it cost, I was like, is it really worth buying that? But now I've played it, now I've seen all the updates it brought, what with the new light levels, the weapons, is it the Dreadnought, the new area? Yeah. It is, isn't it? Yeah, the Dreadnought, the raid, which for those of you who don't play Destiny probably get confused when you hear people talking about raids. And they're like 2 to 6 hour experiences where you go from area to area and have different challenges like fighting bosses, doing parkour. There's some challenges on other ones, like the one at the beginning of the Oryx raid is you have to move all these balls to a certain spot in a certain amount of time, don't you? And there's like waves of them that come along.
One of my favourite experiences of last year was playing Vault of Glass when no one knew what they were doing. I got me and my friend and 4 other guys that we found, you know, on like the Bungie's website. We just got together and had a crack at it. And it took us about 3 weeks to figure it all out and do it.
That's what's so amazing about the raids on that game, is that it requires you to work as part of a team. And if you don't have a good team, you just don't do well. So it requires people talking to one another, people communicating. It requires people doing certain roles and sticking to them. And it's, like you say, part of the fun is working out with your team who's good at what.
My favourite part of Vault of Glass was like the second week we played it, when we made it past like the kind of first kind of boss bit. And we had to jump across the wall. And it took one of the guys like an hour and a half to make it. Because we didn't know what we were doing. And we just sat and laughed and pushed one another off and all that, and then had to redo it, and then you wouldn't make it for some reason. You know, it was a brilliant experience just bonding with these random people from the internet that we were just fighting our way through.
What's also great about it as well is like when you finally finish the raid, that moment, as like when I killed Oryx for the first time, especially on hard, when we did it on hard and we killed Oryx for the first time, it feels such an achievement because it's such a long experience.
Yeah, the first time I got that armor shade, you're like, yes, I'm part of the club. After the 6th time I got it, it wasn't so thrilling, but
it was a really addictive game. I remember me and Kev, we did what did we try in 2-man? It was the legendary.
It was Nightfall, wasn't it?
That was it, the Nightfall. And we were at it for a good couple of hours, and you had to get your mate on to help us because we could not finish the boss. But one of my favourite memories of Taken King this year was playing. Actually, I don't think it was an expansion that was from House of Wolves. You know, that the Prison of the Elders.
Oh right, yeah, the wave-based sort of horde mode, wasn't it?
Yeah, we were playing that on hard, and you know, we literally started the first round, and the baby. We just had the baby a couple of days before, and the baby woke up, and I was like, obviously you can't pause Destiny, and I was like to my teammates, I was like, oh no, I was like, the baby's awake, I need to feed her. So I crouched down in the corner, and they stood either side of me, and literally just fought off waves and waves of enemies, whilst I fed the baby and got her back to sleep, and it was just a really cool experience that was completely random. But no, I don't get the Destiny hate. I know that they kind of screwed the players with the pricing of stuff.
The problem, I think, is it was the marketing. I played Destiny. I played like 400 hours of it last year, but I didn't pick up the Taken King.
Yeah.
And I think part of that, it's not that I didn't like what they were saying they were going to do, or whether I thought it was badly priced or that. It was the way they went about marketing it. There was something off about the way they went about it. You know what I mean?
It's still bad what they've done with the original game as well, where it's pretty much useless now. I haven't been back, like, because I've got the expansions, I've not played just the original game, but apparently it's like very bare bones now, and unless you've got the DLC, it's pretty useless to play it.
Yeah, and that side of it I don't agree with, but I was happy to pay what I did for the hours of game I got.
Yeah,
out of
I
it.
easily got my money's worth.
I didn't think that I wouldn't get that. It put me off it at first because I wasn't sure what I was going to get. And then when they finally did get round to, laying it out properly and saying this is exactly what you get for what package that you buy and all that. And then I just didn't care because I'd lost all the hype for it. And then I was thinking, no, in fact, I'm going to get Battlefront. And that's going to be this year's shooter game that I just leave, installed and plug in every month or every couple of weeks and play it. And yeah, that's what I've been doing since.
So would you get the next expansion, Kev? Because I've noticed your Destiny, because you was a proper addict, weren't you? Your Destiny playing has definitely
dropped off,
diminished.
Yeah, I've not really touched it in like a couple of months now. I think I completed the raid that many times that by the time you've like done it over and over, you just got to have a bit of a break from it because it is very grindy, that game. You do the stuff over and over, and it's about the amount of fun you have while doing it, and of course that tails off after a while. But if they released another expansion, yeah, I'd definitely pick it up, as long as they included a raid again and not something like I know you said you had fun on it, but Prison of Elders I don't think is as much fun as a raid.
I only played it a couple of times before it felt a bit boring. It was just that one story that I enjoyed, that was all.
Yeah.
Okay, so my second game on my list, and this might shock people, right, is actually Fallout 4. I really struggled with the decision, and when you hear what my first one is, you'll understand. But this is my most anticipated game of all time.
Yeah, I remember you saying.
So having it in second place is it shocks me. I'm surprised at myself, to be honest. But I've been thinking about it since we decided we were going to do this pod, and yeah, second game of the year for me. The world was amazing. The characters are amazing. The story, not so much. But then the stories in Fallout games have always been a bit. I was going
to say, how do you even follow the story? There's so much side stuff that surely by the time you get to the next story mission, you're like, oh shit, what happened again?
Yeah, now the story of Fallout 4 is you searching for your son.
Right.
So you go out into the wasteland and you've not really got much direction on what's going to happen next. You follow the odd story strand here and there. So it kind of works, but the stories is a bit naff. The twist at the end's a bit predictable, and but what I loved was that it was hard. It was really fucking hard. And I'm so used to Bethesda games being so easy after a while that I actually put it on hard. So it was proper fucking hard. Like, I have died in that game so many times. I've put over 100 hours in it now, and I reckon I've actually probably put a lot more, but it doesn't count the times you've died. So, yeah.
Fallout for me is one of those games, and this is going to sound really fucking weird to gamers, but it's one of those games where there's just too much. It's like, I like to have something that's focused on one thing rather than being a million other different things as well. There's like side missions, there's building like settlements,
that's the best part of the game.
And there's just all this stuff, and I feel that if I get into it, I'll never leave it, and I'll never finish the story.
Which is funny, slightly off, well, not off topic, it's on topic. There is currently someone suing Bethesda because he got so addicted to Fallout 4, he's lost his job, his wife has left him, and he's got no money. And he's blaming his addiction on Fallout 4. Adam, did you play Fallout in the end?
Yeah, I got it the week it came out. I played about 10 hours and I traded it in.
Blasphemous.
And
why was that?
There's two main reasons for it. The story didn't hook me at all. See the thing about the bait and switch thing with the vault and all that, and then you've got to go look for your son. That just didn't motivate me to do anything. So I spent my time kind of wandering about and, trying the settlement stuff, and a lot of it's good. But I had such a problem with bugs in the game, and I'm not talking about the plant, bugged through the wall and you can see the leaves inside your house and all that. That kind of stuff's fine. My main problem was the conversations were broken for me.
Yeah, I remember you telling me.
The lip sync was fucking ridiculous. It was so bad I thought, why not just have them not move their mouths? Because that would be less annoying for me to watch. And And the huge gaps where, the character you're talking to just wouldn't say the next line, the next line that they had. I mean, that's happened to me in a few games, like Dragon Age. It sometimes happened, but it was so few and far between that I didn't really notice it as a problem. But in Fallout, it happened all the time for me, and it just ruined the experience for me.
Like, I think I consider myself to be quite lucky in that the only glitch I found in Fallout 4 was a cow being stuck on my roof for about 20 hours of the game.
Which isn't that big a problem, really.
Well, it is, because it kept blocking a fucking doorway, and even when I killed it and come back, the fucker was still there. But, like, you can get around that. I just built staircases up the other side. It wasn't the end of the world.
That kind of thing is what I mean by, I don't mean like the small ones that give them a bit of character, that are funny. You know what I mean? But there was some ones that for me were game breaking.
You mean the Assassin's Creed Unity bugs?
The ones that I encountered were pretty game breaking, just for me personally, and the experience I was having, and that's why I ultimately gave up on it.
I guess he's my brother-in-law. We're not married, but you know what I mean. He was so excited for this game, and he sat down to play it. He played it for 15 hours, and then his game just glitched out so badly he had to start again. And I think that would definitely affect my opinion on the game, but because I didn't experience it, it hasn't. So I'm not letting it off. Yeah. I think bugs like that are unacceptable in a release game, and I know people defend it saying, "Oh yeah, but it's so big and there's so much that can interact with, and they can't test that stuff." It's not.
But then you look at The Witcher, and it didn't really have as many problems like that. I didn't experience any.
Yeah, so
that's why I don't get. I like the wee quirky ones, like the plants that don't go
the cow on the roof,
walls and all that. Yeah, the cow on the roof. That's funny. That doesn't bother me. I like those kind of quirks in games because it's something that you only find in games. You're not going to watch a film and there's a random cow just glitched onto a roof.
Which is such a shame.
No, I think that's the sort of thing that you go, that makes gaming a wee bit more interesting than a lot of other things.
The only Fallout I tried was Fallout 3, and it was a glitch that put me off that. I was in a death loop, because my game saved like a millisecond before someone shot me in the head.
Yeah.
And like, I keep spawning in and keep getting shot in the head. And I was like, oh, sod this stories, and I just gave up.
See, Fallout 3 is like my game of all time, but it has its problems. I'm not disputing that.
And I'm really glad that for a lot of people, they didn't experience those problems like you, Dave. You've obviously had a great time with it, and I'm pleased for you, but it just didn't do it for me.
But yeah, that was my second game. So, who did we go to first out you two? It was Adam, wasn't it? So yeah, Adam, what's second on your list?
Well, after using Everybody's Gone Through Rapture, which is not really a game in a lot of ways, my second one is basically just a game and nothing else. It's Rocket League.
I knew it was going to be Rocket League.
How could it not be Rocket League?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so fun.
I am legitimately hyped for this coming to Xbox One.
See, I dabbled with it on a PC man at a mate's house, and it's actually pretty addictive and really fun. It's one of those games that if you've got a group of mates and you all sit around the sofa together, like passing the controller, it could be really good.
It's such a shame it's not going to be crossplay.
That is a shame.
Yeah, that is a bit shitty.
That's my only fear about it, with it coming onto Xbox so late. If it's not like a Games with Gold game, the way it was free on PS Plus when it launched, I don't know if you'll have the install base that you need to make it fun. I'm
wondering if they have already identified that though, and they might already be, because it would definitely benefit it. And obviously, the Xbox, what do you call it? There's more people on PS4 than there are on Xbox. It's a thing, that's a fact. Right? Yeah. The PS4 is being more successful. So they should definitely do that.
Yeah,
but I'm going to buy it. I mean, if it's 10-15 quid, I'll buy it.
Yeah, I think that's what it's priced at. It's about £10-15.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's well worth that, because you'll get hundreds of hours out of it. Especially if you've got a couple of controllers and you bring your mates around in it. It's a brilliant game to stick on, because it takes literally 2 minutes to understand it. It takes a lot longer to master, the trick shots and all that, but everyone gathers the basic premise of you have a rocket-powered car, jump at the ball and get it in the net.
Do you, I don't know if you, because I know it was an Xbox, do you ever play iDarb? I Draw Red Blocks?
No, I didn't.
Have you played that? That was a really simple game, and it was like a football type game that was ridiculously fun considering how simple it was. And it looked like a more complex version of that. That's why I'm excited.
Yeah, and then you get to drive about in a rocket-powered car with a sombrero hat on the top.
Which is also...
And you can customise the paint job that's on it and all that. it's really daft and fun, and all the cars are kind of basically the same. So no one's got an instant advantage because, he's driving the van and you have a car, if you know what I mean. It's completely level. It comes down to just skill. But you can have a great, it's just as funny screwing up as it is being brilliant at it. If you know what I mean. Flying past the ball instead of hitting it is just as hilarious.
Well, I've probably watched so much videos on it.
Yeah, some of the trick shots I've seen on YouTube in it are insane. And then the colossal fuck-ups where you've watched 10 people fly past the ball and it just rolls into the net from the halfway line and all that.
It's one of those games as well where they can make a fortune with customizing stuff.
Yeah, there's a couple of DLC packs and things out with a new arena and they've added in for free they call it mutagens, where you can make the ball square like a cube. And you can have no gravity and all that kind of stuff, to mix it up even more.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure they added that in for free. And you go, that's the sort of thing you go, now it's the perfect part again, because you can just throw a couple of those random things in to change it up from just the standard game and go mental. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, I'm legitimately excited. What about your second game, Kev?
So, like I said earlier, I haven't played many games this year, so my next one is actually going to be that I'm going to pick up. So I've not actually played it yet, but it's Mad Max. From everything I've seen about that game and everything I've heard about it, it just looks like one of those games that you can just get lost in.
This was my other special mention. So that's it. You've mentioned both of mine. I'm happy.
There you go, mate. Yeah, see, I watched a video before it came out from the developers, and they were playing it, and they were saying how under the sand there's hidden airports and stuff like that, and there's caves and there's loads of hiddens to be seen. And then they drove into this sandstorm and it looked really cool with all debris and stuff coming about. It looked just like the movie. So that's that's probably my number one that I'm going to buy next year. It's the first game I'm picking up.
Yeah, I really recommend it. I think it's an incredibly underrated game. It came and it went, and it's such a shame because it's so much fun. It came out and I played it for about 2 weeks solid, and then my life ended and we had a baby. So I haven't actually gone back to it. I'm waiting for enough time to pass where I can just start again.
Yeah, without feeling like you've seen all that before and you get bored.
Where enough of it's because I don't want to carry on where I am because I'm completely lost. So, the vehicle combat in it is addictive. Even I know people said it's a bit simple, but the fighting's quite brutal, and it's.
Is it not kind of based on the Batman one?
It's very similar. I wouldn't say it's as complex because obviously with Batman you've got the gadgets and things, but some of the finishing moves are really cool. I like the fact
that Warner Brothers are they've taken that basic structure that Rocksteady made and are using it in games because you go, well, it works.
It does.
And you have some variations on it to make it interesting and distinct to whatever game it's in. You go, well, it works, so haha.
And as a big fan of the Mad Max, I think they've captured it really well, especially the new movie. Because although it's not a movie of the game, a game of the movie, movie of the game, it feels like it's in the same universe, and you find things that are really cool that give a bit of backstory to the world, and you're gonna love it, Kev. Oh, I can't wait till you get it now.
It's also I don't know if any of you guys ever played Vigilante 8 on the original PlayStation, but I used to play that all the time, and the combat in Mad Max sort of reminds me of that. So that's another reason why I'm looking forward to it. You can
fire a harpoon and pull someone's door off, and then you can fire the harpoon again and pull someone out. It's
boy. I know what I'll be doing.
It's so good.
Harpoons
really
for
good.
Everyone.
So, because I've got a feeling that mine and Adam's
I was going to say this game, before you start. I wonder if it's the same because we're going to be talking.
I think it is. The only other special mention I have was the heist for GTA. I've had a ridiculous amount of fun with that this year. I know you've not picked up for the Xbox One, have you, Kev?
No, not yet.
I still think you should. I mean, if you can pick it up for 20 quid, well worth
That's
it.
what I'm waiting for. If I see it for 20 quid somewhere, I will pick it up.
I'm hoping
it would go on sale.
Yeah. Have you tried the heist yet, Adam?
No, I haven't.
You guys missing
out. No, I played them on 360, the heists.
Oh, of course, I completely forget it was on the last gen. I played a few with Ross and a few other people's that we've had on the pod in the past, and it's just
I've loved listening to people talk about it.
Hilarious.
I think that's what's kind of sold me on. Yeah, Heist will be a really good thing, but I think I'm in the same boat as Kev. I'm going to wait till I can pick it up quite cheap.
I was hoping that it came on the Christmas sale on Xbox.
It still might. Oh no! Wait, this is going out after Christmas, isn't it?
Yeah.
It might have done. Yeah.
You definitely need to play it with 4 people. You can't play with randoms because they're just not reliable enough.
I tried that once, and I tried the same mission like 20 times before I said, fuck this noise.
Not fun.
Just
and they're so varied. There's one where you've got to break into a prison, like a prison breakout. That's just so much fun. I remember doing that. And then, I think it was Ross in the plane, and we had to get in to take off, and we all got in, but as we did, he lost a wing. And that's it. It's all over.
That's what happened to the exact same mission, the exact same plane. Like, the guy driving the plane, we all got in the plane, we started flying off, and he tried to be cocky and fly, like, upside down past a electricity pylon. And as he went to go upside down, his wing clipped it and crashed and burned after, like,
because
an hour
it can
of
take,
doing the mission.
Yeah, because it can take so long to get to that point. It's frustrating, but not frustrating enough to put you off.
Yeah, it's funny, but then you go, no, we need to do it again.
It's funny when it's someone you know. When it's a random, you're like, you stupid fucking idiot!
I can't remember who it was. I got a feeling it was Reese, and we was all in these. There's one where you got to steal jets from a helicarrier sort of thing.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
You all take off, and you just see this one jet sort of hit the end of the runway and then plonk into the water.
He doesn't realise it's got vertical takeoff.
Yeah, it's just so good. But that's my special mention. So you do your game of the year, Ross, if you've got one. Ross, Kev, I apologise. I'm so sorry.
Talk about yours first. I've got to think about my number one.
So I'm pretty certain that Adams is the same. Yeah? Witcher 3?
Yeah, definitely. I was waiting to make sure.
I was hoping you weren't going to pull fucking Metal Gear Solid out on me. And like, damn.
I've not even played that game. Like, I've heard it's really good, but I'm not a Metal Gear fan, so I never bothered.
That's another one I think I'll get when it's cheaper and when, there's nothing particularly good coming out, if you know what I mean.
So, Witcher 3, The Wild Hunt.
Where to start?
This game almost rivaled Fallout 4 for the hype for me. The 2 weeks leading up, I was in Spain for 2 weeks, and I read and listened to the audiobooks, all the backstories.
What other Witcher games did you play before this one?
Only 2.
Yeah, I was the same. I played 2, which had a brilliant way of getting you into it by, Geralt had lost his memory. So you kind of get it back along with him, which was really cool for me.
Which I'm glad they ditched in Witcher 3.
Yeah,
so you've got
definitely.
Now the world in that game is probably the best realised I've ever seen.
I mean, the wind mechanics, fucking hell, it's so real.
The fact that you can just bring up the wind mechanic as being one of the best, it really was though.
It's just so good. I mean, everything else about it is so perfect that you go. The wind is the surprising thing. You go, I don't remember ever seeing wind in a game before.
Not to that sort of complex.
I see,
where his hair's blowing.
Yeah, it's just.
The main city, Novigrad, is probably the best city of a game I've ever seen. Because it wasn't just a couple of buildings. It's not like Skyrim, which I know it had the console limitations. Is one of the reasons that Skyrim was a bit small. The main towns and cities of that game was about 5 huts and a castle.
Yeah.
Whereas Novigrad, I used to get lost in it every fucking time I went there.
Do you know what? I'm in the middle of my new game plus. Like, that's how much I played it. I played I must be over 200 hours by now. Not that I even can tell. It's been that long I played it. And I recently discovered a fucking a blacksmith in Novigrad that I'd never seen before. Never seen him before. And it just literally ran past him and went, holy shit! Like, he's been there that whole time. You mean I went fucking all the way off to somewhere else to get a fucking blacksmith that I needed to craft something? And fucking there was one right there.
It's just, you run around and you can hear conversations in the background and you're like, that's actually quite interesting. I'm going to listen to that for a bit. There's beggars. I mean, even the puddles in the street are amazing to look at. The game's just perfect.
Yeah,
it's so polished as well. They've done a really good job.
It's the kind of game where you go, I'm glad they delayed it, because is paid off big time. Like, whatever it was that they delayed it for, I can't tell you what it is because everything's so good that you can't go, oh, it must have been that bit because it's still a wee bit shit still. If you know what I mean.
Gameplay?
No, do you know what? The Witcher's so good of a game, it has the perfect game inside it. Gwent.
Yeah.
I absolutely fucking love playing Gwent. And that's a game inside a game. That's a card game that you play in the fucking game.
I know, I found myself going around to traders looking for new cards for a good 20 hours of my fucking... God knows how many hours I put into the game.
So
Can't be
good.
better than Pokemon cards, surely.
It's not far off. It's a better mechanic.
The only
than
thing
Pokemon
that
cards.
it's missing is shinies. If it had shinies,
Oh,
it would be
if it had
just
shinies.
as it would be just as good as Pokemon cards.
You'd be spending £2.50 on a special pack to get you shinies.
I'd spend 50 quid on them. Do you know what I mean? That's how good Gwent is. I absolutely fucking love it. So good. Oh,
I can't believe they've not jumped on the popularity and released like an iOS and Android.
yeah, that's
version.
what I was expecting to happen. But maybe it's something that they'll release after the second expansion's dropped. Maybe they'll announce it with that.
Is this another free expansion?
No, they're paid, aren't they?
Oh, are they?
Yeah,
So what was the DLC? They were doing free DLC, weren't they?
they had paid DLC. There was like 13 pieces of it. There was a couple of alternate looks for a couple of the characters.
These were the free ones.
Yeah,
there was a couple of missions.
There was a couple of extra quest missions, like contracts and whatnot. There was new armor gear sets that were put in, and then the last one that they put in was the New Game Plus. And the reason they had to wait to put that in is because they literally redid the whole game and re-leveled everything and all that, so that you can play it again and get even more good stuff.
See, I played Witcher 2, and I got really into that game. I didn't understand what the fuck was going on in the story. I started getting lost when they started mentioning all these different names of made-up places, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, but that was part of the fun of it for me. Because you
Yeah,
go, well,
that's
Geralt didn't remember anything either, and you go, so I'm learning as he learns, which is what I liked about that.
The good thing about Witcher 2 was the mechanics of it are I like that you have two separate swords, like one for monsters and one for humans, and the magic in that. But I'll definitely pick up Witcher 3 if I see it as well.
Yeah, the combat
you've got to.
the combat is so much more fluid than Witcher 3, but it's not easy. I die all the time in that game. All of the time,
again,
but I still love it.
I mean, I don't know. I'd thought, I'm going to play this on hard because I want it to be challenging.
Yeah, that was a
Yeah.
mistake. I play it on
was a
normal and I
fuck
die
me,
all
it
of the
was so
fucking
hard.
time.
It is so hard. I love it though.
And then the New Game
Absolutely
Plus
love it.
is even more difficult because although, even when you encounter like really low level enemies compared to the level you are, they're a lot smarter about how they attack you and things like that. So like, you know how the crowds of drowners can be quite a pain?
Yeah.
They're even more irritating to try and kill because you actually spend a good amount of time trying to kill 4 drowners. They're more difficult than some of the bosses. Like, well, not bosses, but like the contracts and all that.
That's it. Even if it's a lower level than you, the moment you're outnumbered, it changes that you can't just go in there and think, yeah, I'm so much higher than you, I'll just bash the shit out of you. If you're surrounded and they're coming from behind, you need to be focused and pressing the correct buttons
and
to
you
deflect.
making use of the Witcher signs, your magic and all that, and your potions and your bombs. It's just so good.
The game is so deep as well. Like, you can just play it. I mean, I played it for about 10 hours straight once, and I don't feel like I even got close to
being bored of it.
Yeah,
It's a desert island game, isn't it?
It is.
It's endless near enough. But my favourite part about the entire experience was the first playthrough of it is you reach a point where you think, oh no, it's coming to an end. And then you kind of put it off doing it, and then you go, no, I want to finish and see what happens. And then you do it, and then it's not the end. There's like another third of the game to go. And I've never been so happy. I said to my girlfriend that they could have ended the game at that point, and I wouldn't have known that there was more to go. And they could have released that as Witcher 4 in a year's time or 2 years' time, and I would still have been happy. Do you know what I mean?
That's something
because
you got to
it's so
say about
big.
CD Projekt Red. They really respect their fans, don't they?
Oh,
Yeah.
they do.
They made a point of coming out with that and going, DLC is free, expansions are something that you buy, and they are going to be fucking worth it.
And yeah, I mean, although I've got the season pass, I've not played the first expansion.
I haven't bought the expansion pass yet. I'm waiting until I get through my New Game Plus, and then I'm going to buy it because then I'm going to start the DLC.
But like, it's added a whole new location, and God knows how many more games. Like they're not just farting one out.
If I remember rightly, the second expansion is supposed to add an area that's just as big as like the rest of it.
Yeah, I can believe they'll do that.
And you go, how much are they adding in to populate? That's going to be mental.
But now we're getting a Witcher movie, so I'm glad the series is getting recognised.
I think that's the saddest part about it, is that CD Projekt Red's last Witcher game, supposedly.
Probably won't be the last
I'm
one
suspecting that when the expansions and that are done and they count up how much money they've got, they might make a second team and start maybe using one of the other characters. Not do a Geralt one again, but maybe use like a different character.
But would it get the same sort of love from a separate studio?
No, it's the same. A new team, like have two teams inside CD Projekt Red. If you know what I mean, like not like
I don't know. See, I love Geralt as a character. Geralt as a character, he's just like the perfect. See, one of the complaints I had with Fallout 4, well, not complaints as such, is a lot of complaints other people have had, though, is that the main character you play has a voice. You don't mind in The Witcher 3 because it's so well done.
Do you know my problem actually with that is people complain, the problem with Witcher 3 is it's an RPG, but I don't get to make my character, and you go, well, surely the whole point of roleplay is that you get to play him.
Yeah, but you do get, get to make your own character to a degree. Yeah, because you're playing him how you want.
Yeah, because you can decide what he does and what he doesn't do, and that affects the entire game. Those decisions, like properly meaningful changes.
Oh, that just reminded me. Yeah, when I was playing Witcher 2, there was a chance to cheat on the NFO, and I did it the first time, and then I felt really bad, and then my Xbox crashed, so I had to do that bit again. Then the second time round, I didn't cheat on her.
Yeah. What you might find interesting, Kev, is when you do play Witcher 3. There's a bit in it where it asks you a few questions, and the questions are things that happened in Witcher 2, and what it's basically doing is find out what decisions you made in Witcher 2.
You can turn that on or off as well. See, the first time that happened, I went, I'm not telling the Emperor the truth, and I lied. And then I was like, that was really weird, and I looked it up, and I went, oh shit, so I had to reload the save. Like, I lost half an hour's progress to go back and change it.
It was worth it, though. No, if you haven't yet, Adam, you need to get on the books or the audio books that the series is based on, because it's really
I think I'm going to get the audio books in it, because what I do at work is I listen to like podcasts, and I think an audio book would be really good for that as well, or something different.
I've got an Audible account that's got them on there, that if you want, I can like lend you my password. I don't mind. So you can have a listen.
Yes, good plan. I like that plan.
Yeah, let's do that. I won't share it on here.
Good idea.
That's also password a good plan. 123.
Yeah. So there, that's my game of the year, Kev. And Adam's game of the year.
Definitely. Could talk about
my final one. Like I said before, mine weren't in any particular order, so I was just looking through a list of what came out this year, and one that grabbed my attention was the Telltale Game of Thrones game. Now, again, this is a game I didn't play. It's one I watched on a Let's Play. And surprisingly, which I didn't think would happen, it ties into the Game of Thrones series really well. Have you seen it, Dave?
I've played the first episode, but there was such a gap between the first and the second one that I didn't think. I got the collection that has the season pass for that in it, so I have got it ready to go. I'm just saving it for when Game of Thrones comes back on the telly.
My plan always was to wait until it was done, but I've never actually played one of the Telltale games.
Oh,
you're always waiting.
Amazing.
Yeah, but I've heard mixed things about them in some ways. Like I said, one of the reasons I stopped playing Fallout was because of technical problems. You go, well, I've heard that Telltale games can have quite bad ones.
There's not much that can go wrong in a Telltale game.
Yeah, I wouldn't say
they still run badly from what I've heard. You know, it's a
some
wee
of
bit
them
off,
worse than others.
Yeah,
I would highly recommend that you play The Wolf Among Us. That's probably the most stable. It's also the best, hands down. But then I've not played them all now. I've just started.
Tales of the Borderlands is fucking amazing.
I've just started that one. I've just done the first episode.
So I've no interest in that just because I've no interest in the Borderlands games. I haven't played them.
Honestly, I'd play it anyway. It's got such a good story.
I'm not a massive fan of Borderlands, and I'm enjoying it. So
Yeah, I'll maybe try. I'll probably try the Game of Thrones Telltale game because it's Game of
Kev and
Thrones,
just watch
and then
Yeah, so thing is with those games, they're just as enjoyable to watch as to play. See, I'm not big on saying, "Oh, I would have done this decision, they did that decision." I just watch it as like a short movie sort of thing.
yeah,
and I really enjoy it. And then if you enjoy it, you can always go and buy the game yourself and choose different decisions and see how your story ends up. But yeah, I think that Game of Thrones one tied into the whole series really well, and actually did a really good job. And it actually had characters that I started to like, and of course, Game of Thrones style. I won't say who people die, which is really shocking.
Princess Leia.
Motherfucker! I can't believe you did that, Dave. There's payback coming, motherfucker.
Right, no, because I don't want people thinking I'm an arsehole. I just want to go on record saying that I haven't told him who dies in Star Wars. Or I've said a character. It's not true.
Oh, is it not true?
No, it's not true. I can't let the people that listen to the podcast think that I've actually spoiled Star Wars for someone. Nobody's that heartless.
it's a bit Dave. Is it true?
There's like,
Is
there's
it?
a
You have to wait
massive
and see.
smile on my face now. I honestly thought that was the truth. I was like, shit, now I'm going to go into this film watching the whole thing thinking, right, when's she going to die? She's going to die.
Ah,
She's
I
gonna
should have
die.
left it then. I should have left it.
Yeah,
That'd have been
because at
funny.
the end I would have come out and be like, that motherfucker.
So people listening, because obviously you're going to bleep it out regardless.
Yeah.
Yes, I had said Princess Leia. Okay, just for the record. Anyway, so that's pretty much wrap that up.
So yeah, that's our games of the year. If you want to write into us and tell us your top 3, and we'll maybe read them out on the next podcast.
I can say we'll definitely read them out. We don't get much feedback.
Yeah.
I guarantee I will read out every feedback that's sent in, regardless of what it says.
I'm going to send in shitloads of feedback, Dave.
Just everyone will leave. It would just be me for 15 minutes at the end of the episode, just reading them out one after the other.
So yeah, if you want to leave any feedback with us, send it to podcast@outerlives.net. I remembered it. Yes.
Shit. At podcast.
No, not the shit part. Not the shit part. Minus the shit.
Shit podcast.
Less shit. Shit podcast.
and
@outerlives.net.
We should get Ross to change it because that's an appropriate title.
That is.
I will say that I'm pretty sure Ross's game of the year was Witcher 3, so that's just the Outer Lives game of the year now. No one's here to say that. They can't stop me from saying it. Witcher
It's been
3,
announced. Now it's
game of the year for Out of
Well,
Lives.
it won the Game Awards as well, so
Yeah, it
I think it's
fucking
been
deserved it.
legitimised. Yeah.
Anyway, Adam, plug your podcast.
Out of the Crossfire, spelt with an X, because that's a funny joke, honest. So,
That no one got.
yeah, so we started our own PlayStation podcast because we're fed up of you ex-boners talking about fucking COD and Halo, and not any good games like Rocket League.
when
I don't think we've
fuck-
ever
Everybody's
spoken
going
about
to the Rapture. That's right. We're
I've
talking
never
about the
played it.
good console, not the shit one.
Yeah,
So join us
we
for
definitely
that
are
every
more
week.
Xbox based on the Out of Lives podcast, so it's probably good that we have a PlayStation one. And listen to it. I was surprised it was good. I was expecting shite.
It's because BT kidnapped Lee. So
Yeah.
a vast improvement happened after that. Hashtag free Lee from BT.
What about you, Dave? What you got to plug?
My Twitter account, I am at Captain News.
You changed
and
it.
Yeah, I did.
You've been saying for like 4 weeks you were going to do it.
I know. I'm just lazy as fuck. I will point out I'm not actually Captain spelt like Captain. It's CAPTIN because it's not a title. It's my name. I am actually Captain News. Captain's my first name.
So
News
you
is
got
my
a cap
surname.
made of tin?
And was Captain News already taken?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. That was also the other reason. Yeah, so, tweet me, follow me. I don't care. I just put shit. Looking back through, I really do tweet shit. Oh, don't follow me. I'm wank. I wouldn't follow me.
I'll follow you,
Anyway.
Dave.
Okay. What about you?
You were going to say Ross again there, weren't you?
I was. It's because I just saw his face as I was scrolling through. His punchable face.
the ghost of podcasts past.
Yeah.
He'll
The
be
little
back. He's like fucking Terminator.
Adam took his place. He was so ready to come on, and then like literally half an hour before we went to record, oh guys, I'm not going to be able to do it now. Well, fuck off then.
Miserable bastard. I was about to say miserable Scottish bastard, then I remembered Adam was Scottish, so I was like, fuck.
He's not really.
Paisley bastard. That'll do. Be bit more specific. It's not so bad.
So yeah, anyway, you can find me on Twitter at Don'tShootTarny, and also I should probably address the Tesla facts in the previous pod. So the more astute of you may have noticed that I was dropping a few Tesla facts throughout the Movie of the Year podcast, the one prior to this one. And that's because a couple of weeks back we charted at number 65.
I think it was higher, we just missed it. That's my excuse.
Okay, when we noticed it, we were 65 in the iTunes chart, so we want to say thanks to you guys for that. And I thought if I drop a few Tesla little factoids in the podcast, we might attract some of the audience from the podcast that was one above us, which was, it was called Ride the Lightning, Tesla's unofficial podcast.
Don't plug it!
Shit,
Fucking hell, Kev.
God damn it, so I'm beeping it out.
We've just moved up to 55.
So yeah, if you want your Tesla
know
facts,
you plugged it, but
yeah, actually they might plug us now. I should send them a message to them to plug us.
Yeah. And for more Tesla facts,
if you want your Tesla facts, come to us, not them. We've got brilliant ones, and they're not out of date at all. So yeah, thanks for listening, guys. We'll return with Dave's untrue fact of the week next week because he's always bullshitting, and that's it. See you later. Bye.
Bye.
You're in tune to Out of Lives. www.outoflives.net.
You can't handle the truth.